Hey there everyone, welcome to Violet's Dream Tarot. So today we are going to be doing the April predictions reading, and I'm excited to see what comes up from this reading. As I'm sure you're aware if you've been to my channel before, when we do these kind of readings I try and keep it quite open, so I'm not looking specifically at your career or your love life or your health or any kind of specific area of your life. I'm just open to whatever messages come through, and sometimes they are focused on one area as being quite important, and sometimes it kind of covers a broad spectrum of things. So welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're not. And before we take a closer look at the piles on offer today, I want to say a big thank you to all of my lovely subscribers and to all of my lovely patrons as well, including Alexandra, Amy, Alyssa, Alison, Cara and Kelly. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for your kindness and the support that you show to me, the channel and the work that I do. Please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. It means an awful lot to me. It really helps out my channel, and it means that you never get to miss out on any videos that I post. So let's take a closer look at these piles. So we've got two piles to choose from today. We're asking about what is coming up for you in April. So on pile 1, we have the Villains Tarot deck, which is a Disney deck. I'll just show you some of the artwork. And we have this adorable little mushroom Gumon. So kind of a forest vibe with this one. And for pile 2 we have the Mystical Medleys Tarot, which is also quite cartoon in style. It's based on old-fashioned cartoons for the art style. And for that one, pile 2, we have this little underwater coral lighthouse Gumon. So kind of a forest and a deep sea or underwater vibe. So you can choose based on the deck, you can choose based on the Gumon, you can just choose with your intuition. It doesn't have to be that you prefer one or the other, it can just be that you're very drawn to something. And I think that often gives us the most accurate reading, is not when we pick something that we think we're going to like looking at, or something that to us seems really cute or really nice, but something that we just are really drawn to with our intuition, because that first gut feeling is usually correct. So take as much time as you need to decide. Pause the video or go back to the start if you need more time. And when you're ready, I'm excited to do this one. We will find out what's coming up for you in April. Hey there everyone, welcome to your reading if you chose the Mushroom Gumon and the Villains Tarot, pile 1. This is going to be your reading, so we'll take a look at what's coming up for you in April. And as I mentioned in the intro, it's going to be fairly open in terms of what areas of your life we cover. I'm open to whatever comes through, whatever the cards want to focus on or draw your attention to for April. In fact, maybe we'll move her to the side a little bit. Okay. Group 1. What's coming up? What can you expect in April? Okay, so we've got your tarot cards. Ace of Swords, Six of Wands, King of Coins or Pentacles, and Judgment. Interesting. Move you to the side. So it's a month of changes. There's definitely a sense of moving in a new direction, an opportunity for a fresh start, a new beginning. It feels like this might be in the sector of career, but it could be that there are just other messages coming through in your career. It feels like, in any case, your career is going well. Things are improving on that score. In fact, I just want to jump straight into your oracle cards because I can see already that there's going to be lots of messages here, and I am excited to see what they have to say. So let's start getting some cards. Group 1. I'll just pull you some cards from a few different decks first. So let's see what we have. I think we've got a good chunk of cards here now. So, you have number 35, Mehen, protection, as your first message. So it feels like on this journey, as you move forward, you are going to be protected. You have number 38, fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael. Now this one originally landed upside down, and I don't usually read reversals, but this is a deck that I do tend to read the reverse meanings for. So with it landing in the reverse position, it suggests that your fourth chakra, your heart chakra, could do with some healing or some reflection upon that area in April. So it could be that you have some unresolved pain, some issues in relationships with others. It could be that you are kind of still healing from a situation that you've been struggling to forgive from or struggling to move on from. And if that's the case, I think it's very nice that you have the protection message, because it suggests that this month ahead is going to be more gentle for you, and it's going to give you the opportunity to heal and kind of work on that more. In that vein, we've got number 24, emptied. The ending and beginning are at either side of the same door. So feeling emptied out in April, like you finally have reached the point where you're not fighting anymore, where you're not struggling against the scenario, but you're finally just able to surrender and reflect. And it's nice that it says the beginning and ending lie at either side of the same door, because you have judgment, which is about moving on from one aspect of your life. It's like the crossroads point where you're ready to move forward. You also have the King of Pentacles, who is the final card in the suit of Pentacles, so it indicates a completion. And then you've got the Ace of Swords, so a beginning. And to be honest, I find judgment to be quite a double-edged card anyway, because it necessitates a new beginning through an ending, or through a leveling up or a moving on. So it always has both ending and beginning tied in with it. But yeah, to have also like an ace and a king as well as judgment does indicate this sense of moving forward and moving on. You have number 40, mindful, groupthink. So it's not mindful, but mindful. So I think that in itself is interesting to come out with the word full next to the card that's called emptied. You know, it's like now is a good time to just purge your mind of all of these thoughts that have been racing around it, all of these issues that you've been holding on to, things that you haven't really had chance to fully sit down and process because you've just had to keep going on with life and keep pushing ahead. Feels like now is a time that you get to do that. Then we got a few cards from the Dixit deck because I really just wanted to see what would come out from that one. So you have the people watering plants which are growing documents. Then you have the person steering a ship through very, very stormy seas, but there's a rainbow up ahead. and this person's wearing a raincoat and they have a smile on their face. And then your other card from this deck is the Totem Pole. There's lots of abundance on the floor, whether it's like food, goods, physical treasure, money. But there's a curious totem pole with a real mixture of animals on it. And then at the top of the totem pole, you've got the stag who is crying. So it's like this symbol of power surrounded by abundance and surrounded by wealth and success or health or positive outcomes, but the power is almost being formed by previous struggles, by past difficulties, by even a sense of vulnerability that still exists. I think people often think that vulnerability is weakness, but you can use it to your advantage and it can be very, very powerful. So if this is the kind of panorama of your month ahead, we've got this sense of putting effort and time and nurturing into growing something, and it feels like it's either creative in nature or it's to do with work, because obviously these are written documents. They look like reports, or they look like even printouts of emails or contracts that you need to sign when you start a new job. You know, we've got this kind of steering through the difficult times but still being optimistic and having some kind of sign that things are going to improve and things will be all right in the end. And then you have this outcome forged by strength, and I guess with the totem pole kind of having to wear lots of very different faces, especially as you've got a chameleon there as well, but you've also got a bull, like a farm kind of animal. You've got an eagle, you know, animal that can fly, that has this very high perceptive stance of everything. You've also got a wild animal, the stag, and then the chameleon, who's like a tropical animal and a reptile, so different again from all of them, and of course has the connotation of flexibility and wearing many faces. So it's very, very interesting, and I'm going to pull you some more cards because I feel definitely that there's so much more still left to say just from the cards aspect of your reading before we go on to your charms and dice. Let's see what else we can get for April. Okay, group one. What's going on here? What other messages or guidance do we have? So number 40, keeping up, immense effort. Advance. And I do see this. It's interesting that you got the number 40 twice as well. Two number 40s. Could be an important number, but also like this definitely fits because it does feel like you've been pushing so much recently, like with the mindful and then being emptied. Also like the 6 of Wands shows that you've put in an immense effort. You've pushed so hard to get to where you need to be. You ought to be very, very proud of yourself. This card as well seems to suggest that you've really pushed through a very difficult time and have just tried to remain optimistic, tried to remain like focused on the ultimate goal. You've kind of been telling yourself, I'm doing it for this reason, just one more push and I'll get there. You know, I need to just be focused on this. So really, really well done, Group 1, because you are a credit to yourself and you've put so much work and time and emotion into what you've been doing. It feels like it's career related, but there could also be some personal skills and goals being connected to that as well. Then you have number 47, go the distance. Again, very reflective of your effort, your work. Again, there's like an animal totem there in the cheetah. Go the distance. Making it to the finish line. You have been able to repeatedly show up for yourself, cultivating prosperity. The abundance of the universe is pouring into my life. And this fits nicely with that image here of all the wealth and abundance. I often see this as being a bit of a cornucopia card surrounding the totem pole. And then you have November. So this could be like a catalyst time that started off all this work for you. It could have been when you first started putting this enormous shift in, or it could be that you're working towards something like a new job in November, or that's when you get your promotion or some kind of bonus coming in that you've been working towards. Could be a deadline that you've set for yourself in the personal realm, like maybe if you've been putting all of this effort in to try and lose weight, for example, because you have some special event or holiday booked in November that you want to look your best for. Maybe that's what this is reflective of. Just take it how it resonates with you, but definitely you should be immensely proud of yourself for all of your hard work and all of your conscious effort in moving towards your goal. Then we've got Bo, you are highly thought of. So other people have a very positive opinion of you and they see the effort and work you've put in and they really kind of feel proud for you. Bridge, successfully overcoming a problem. Very, very positive. Bell, announcement. So this can also be where those documents come in. Like there is that offer of a job coming your way, or there is that kind of formal recognition of work that you've been doing. And then horseshoe, good luck. Always lovely to receive. So lots of very, very positive cards. It feels honestly like April is a bit of an easier time. I still think that you're putting in the effort, but it feels like you've done the bulk of the work already once we get into April. And so you're able to kind of pedal back a little bit, dial down on the intensity, start to really recognize how far you've come and be proud of that. Let's see what your charms have to say. Okay, so what have we got here? You've got the letter Y. Could be a word, a name, a place, maybe the word yes coming through with that. But it does often make me think of the word why as well. Like you're maybe questioning yourself, like, you know, I've done so much so far. Why am I still doing this? Or, you know, I've still got a way to go. What's it all been for? Am I really sure that I want to keep going with this? So I do think that some doubts might start creeping in, but I hope that this reading really acts as an encouragement for you, because there is so much lovely messages that have been showing up here. Skating on thin ice. The ice skate. Feeling like things have been going well so far. Surely a change has got to come. Surely something's got to start going wrong. So again, there's that doubt coming in. We have the big key. Solving a problem. Moving house. Moving job. Fresh start. Eliminating blockages. You've also got this sword, just like the Ace of Swords. Again, fresh start, cutting through anything that stands in your way. New ideas, new clarity, new beginnings. The lantern, the light guiding you through the darkness, knowing the way. Enlightenment as well, suddenly realizing what you need to do. This fits quite nicely with the owl another animal totem. The owl reminding you of your inner wisdom, which you can call upon and you can use that to propel you forward. Actually, you've got a few animals down here. You've got the frog. Flexibility, being adaptable to all environments, and that fits with the chameleon image quite well as well. And the unicorn. You are unique, you are special. No one has what you have, no one can offer what you can bring to the table. This is also a message as well if you've been quite down on yourself or blaming yourself for certain things recently. Whenever we get the unicorn, it reminds us of our innocence. It says, you are pure, you are innocent. No one can take that purity away from you. And, you know, it never went away. Incredibly, and I absolutely love that you have this because it's so, so perfect. So you've got the Go the Distance card, which shows this cheetah running across the desert towards this finish line, this checkpoint that's waving there, this beautiful flag. You have the 13.1 charm. This is a very unusual charm to receive because it's quite specific, but you can see it says 13.1 and there's an arrow pointing in this direction, like the way that the cheetah's running, it's pointing forwards for him. 13.1 is half a marathon. It's like 13.1 miles, I think. So whenever I get that charm, I always think, you're halfway there, at least. Like maybe even more than that, but you're halfway there. Like keep going, because whatever you do now, it's less that you've got left to go than you've already done. If that makes sense. It's a little bit not very eloquent, but whatever you've got left to do, it's less than you've already done so far. So you've proven that you can do it. You just need to keep going and keep believing in yourself. So I think it's absolutely amazing that you got that charm on this Go the Distance card. I think it fits so beautifully. And maybe that's the little bit of extra confirmation you needed if you were doubting these messages and thinking, hey, this definitely can't be right. Surely it's all going to end in tears or something like that. Like you have what it takes to go the distance and you're nearly there. So keep pushing ahead, Group 1. Absolutely. This is so much encouragement from your spiritual team. Then over here, we've just got our last few charms. So we've got the worry thread. This is just symbolic of that worry, that anxiety that you might feel. The winter charm, the snowflake, that's really interesting actually, because you've got November, which isn't winter, but it's just leading into it. So winter does feel important, like this is when this all started, or this is the period of time that you're working towards, sort of deadline you've set yourself. Snowflake, also think about how that word is used in like a modern context to denigrate people for expressing that they're struggling, or that they're finding things difficult. And it feels like maybe you might be giving yourself a hard time in April for finding things difficult, or for struggling, or for getting tired, or even for slowing down or wanting to slow down. Like, try and be kind to yourself, because this optimism and this strength is what's going to push you forward. The last little charm is the beautiful flower blossoming, beauty, opening up. So let's finish up with some dice. I think you've got some absolutely gorgeous messages today, which I hope have been very encouraging for you so far. Okay, we're rolling the 9th set of dice for you, the Astro dice. Reaching for the stars. And we are rolling 3 of them for you. It's just reminded me of a quote, actually. I can't remember who it was that said it. It might have been Oscar Wilde. Maybe comment below if you know. But it's making me think of that quote about you should reach for the moon, or aim for the moon, because even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. And I think that's kind of what you're going for here. You're setting yourself a really ambitious goal, and you're throwing everything at it, because you know that even if you don't quite hit all of the criteria that you want to fulfill, or if you don't quite get to exactly where you want to be, you will still have made so much progress along the way, and you'll end up like pretty much almost there. Or you'll have most of your criteria fulfilled and you'll feel in a much better position than you were when you started. Okay. Yeah, so we've got the person who is like calling out, shouting. It's like they're saying, you know, it's not fair, or why me? Something like this. Really kind of wanting things to change. And so I think this is showing the doubt or the kind of self-confidence issues that might be coming up a little bit in this month. But I really just feel like that extra bit of encouragement that you can give yourself will really see you over the line, as per that going the distance card. You've got the little robot, the little helper robot. So someone can help you, someone is able to give you some support, whether that's in the form of cheerleading or actual practical help in what you're doing. Try and identify who could be of use, who could give advice, who could be there to listen to you rant and, you know, pat you on the back, who could be there to support you going forward, who could give you the practical help you need that just lightens your burden a little bit as you go towards this, who could help keep you accountable if you feel like your resolve is wavering. You know, there's lots of different ways in which people can help without necessarily doing the work for us. And then your final dice is Godzilla. Going through the streets of Tokyo. And whenever I get that dice, I always think of like an enormous situation. Whether it's like an enormous problem that feels overwhelming, or whether it's a huge goal that you've set yourself that feels overwhelming, or, you know, just everything in life feels much bigger than it really should be right now. Nothing seems easy, nothing seems simple. But usually it's one thing, you know, it's like the focus, it's that monster, it's Godzilla, it's whatever it is that's really taking up a disproportionate amount of energy for you. So I feel like this is just something that's dominated your life recently, this goal, whatever it is that you've been trying to achieve. But ultimately I feel that you will get there, and that it's just a matter of, firstly, time, but also of just keeping yourself motivated to get over the finish line. Because what I don't want to happen, and which I don't think will happen, is you kind of getting demotivated right before the rewards start to kick in. So group 1, April is going to be a month where you're still working hard, maybe less so than previously, because it feels like you've already done the bulk of the work because you've put in such an enormous shift over the past few months and weeks. It feels like you are getting closer to what you need to achieve. You are wrestling with some kind of internal doubt, but ultimately you're able to get over the line. And there is so much in terms of like positive messages that we're seeing here. Prosperity, good luck, overcoming a problem, success, you know, protection. I really think that this is just messages to take on board, because my cards, if they can find a problem or if they can find an issue, they will always highlight it. And for you, it's been kind of nothing but praise and encouragement and empowerment. So I hope you take even just that as a message of hope and something that you take away from this reading and keep in the back of your mind as you move forward in April. So I hope you've enjoyed this group 1. I hope it's been helpful. Thank you so much for being here. Please do subscribe if you enjoyed it as well. Help grow the little community that we have here on this channel. Have a great month ahead, a wonderful rest of your day. Good luck with everything that you're trying to achieve. Take care, keep doing the good work, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye. Hey there everyone, and welcome to your reading if you chose group 2 with the underwater Lighthouse Gumon, with the coral and the steam. Then this is going to be a reading. We're going to find out what is happening for you in April. So I'll just pop her there. So let's take a look at the cards. We've got the Mystical Medleys Tarot, as I mentioned in the introduction. We have plenty of oracle cards as well, along with the charms and dice as well on top of that. So lots to get through as always on this channel. So what is coming up for you in April, group 2. Okay. So we have the world, the star, the high priestess, and the magician. Wow, they are all major arcana cards. That's crazy. This is clearly a very significant month for you, group 2. And the zodiac sign that's coming through most strongly at the moment is Aquarius, but we will keep checking in with that throughout the reading in case anything else comes up through your cards or charms or dice to indicate other zodiac signs. So essentially, April seems to be a bit of a groundbreaking month for you. Like, we start off with the world and we end up with the magician. So it's like, maybe we can read this chronologically or just as the general theme of your month, but it feels like there is a big shift, a big change, a big ending and new beginning happening in April time. So the world suggests kind of completing something or making your peace with something or moving on from something, being ready for something new. You've got this intermittent period where you seem to be doing some reflection, some healing, some processing and moving on and kind of getting more optimistic for the future. And then you have this special, exciting new beginning with the magician. So I am really excited to get straight into your oracle cards and see what they can tell us. Let's have a look. I'm going to pull from a few different decks and then we'll look to see what cards come out. Wow. Okay, so what do we have here? It was lovely to see that your first card was Cornucopia. Number 11, this card of abundance. It did land first in the reverse position though, so I'm wondering if maybe this is indicating how you felt that lack recently, and you know, April gives you the opportunity to turn it round. We then also have happy family, number 4. So relationships could be a lot to do with this, or your home life, or your general kind of milestones in life. Envy, number 20. Stars in the sky, limitless possibility. Number 51, I love that card. I love not just the meaning and the message, but the imagery as well. I think the artwork is really beautiful. Sulcus, healing, number 33. Now, I saw healing straight away when I saw the star, and I think it's interesting how you've got that like star imagery here, and then also the sort of message of reflection coming in with healing. Also envy, this could be something that you're trying to heal from or move away from. Radical honesty, number 18, to believe in the facade is to suffocate in the armor of alienation, self-defeat and self-denial. So lots going on here, as I expected. It feels like you're trying to stop comparing yourself in April. You know, I think it's quite interesting that envy has come up next to happy family, because I'm wondering if there is a situation where your family is very competitive, or you were regularly maybe compared to siblings or cousins or other family members throughout your childhood, or you sort of consciously do that now. You know, I think this could especially be the case where there's a few siblings, like not too many, and maybe you're all kind of getting to similar stages in your life, but you feel like they have things that you don't, or hey, this sibling is younger than me, but they're already at this milestone in life. And it can be very, very easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself. It might not be related to family. You might just have been feeling like other people had things that you wanted. It could have been that you felt other people have had an easier time of it, like they've just been able to get whatever they wanted so much more easily than you. You have had to fight, and they just seem to have everything like land into their lap, and that's been really upsetting, really difficult to deal with. But it does feel as though those kinds of feelings are what you're trying to move away from in April, because we've got these messages of healing and recognizing the limitless possibility, sort of, I guess, recognizing what you have to offer, what you can do and achieve and experience in life. I think radical honesty is nice as well, because it's like maybe you've been in this energy of envy for a long time without really reflecting on that or being sort of acknowledging those thought processes. And now you're saying to yourself, look, I know that I've been doing this. I've been comparing, or I've been coveting or being envious or even jealous of other people. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm just going to focus on me, you know. And it's not to say that envy or being envious makes you a bad person, because I think it's a very natural human response, especially if you feel as though things are difficult for you right now, or other people seem to get things more easily. But it's just, I feel like you're kind of accepting and owning those emotions now, and choosing to step away from it and saying, you know, with honesty, this is the underlying cause. This is why I'm feeling that way. I'm putting my feelings onto other people through this kind of projection, because I'm not happy with certain areas of my life and where I am right now, and other people's life stories or achievements just kind of seem to amplify that. It's like other people are mirroring your own state of mind in a way. So I think what you're trying to do is see that as a wake-up call, an important message, but not one that you should be berating yourself for, just one that you instead are going to try your best to show up for yourself in and try to correct. So let's get some more cards. Curious to hear more about your month. And we'll finish up the cards section with these tea leaf reading cards, which are really good to get predictions and messages of what to look out for. Okay. So plenty of cards, as you can see. I always like to use lots of cards in my reading to sort of paint a bigger picture. I know some readers just like to use a few cards and really focus in on them individually. I think that's great, but I just personally like to use a lot of cards. So let's see what we have then. So your first card here is Stepping into Stillness. My power is born in the majesty of silence. And I think that is really nice because of how it's not just talking about your power and getting that back, which I feel is really happening in April, because you're kind of recognizing what has been dragging you down in your thoughts, in your emotions, and you're choosing to step away from it. But it's also reconnecting with this message of like the star and the high priestess of reflection and quietly taking the time to process what's been going on. And I think that's going to be really beneficial to you in April, because it's like this period of your life ends, or you choose to make a conscious step away from something, or you deliberately walk away or end something in your life. And then you've got this period of reflection where you work out, what went wrong or how you want to improve now. I'm ready for something new, something bigger and better. How can I approach that? And you get a lot of really great insights from that. And then with the Magician, it's like, now I'm ready to implement my plans. Now I'm ready to take those first steps. So Mortality is your next card, number 42. Life is brief, bright, beautiful, and yours to live. And I think this is lovely because, again, it really fits with that Magician energy of being like, I'm living in the moment. I am creating my life for myself. I'm not waiting around for anyone to come and change my life for me or offer me opportunities. I'm going out and creating those opportunities. I'm going out and making my own luck, in a sense. I'm not sitting around waiting anymore. So the Magician, I always really love. It's one of my favorite cards because it tells us that we are completely capable of doing this. Whatever it is that we're thinking about, we can do it. We don't need anyone else's help or support. We don't need more money, more time, more resources, more learning. We can just go out and do it. We have everything we need within ourselves. And I think that's really such a strong and powerful message to have, especially when you are ready to implement something new and you're wanting to kind of change old habits, or I guess realign with your path again. So then we've got quite a few cards from the Dixit deck, and this is deliberate because I wanted to, normally I just get one card from each oracle deck. I don't purposefully get more than one, although here, we've got 3 falling out from the same deck. But with this one, I did want to get a few because I thought for this reading, it would be nice if we could have these cards kind of paint a picture, really, of what the month looks like or feels like or what's going on for you. So we have, firstly, this card with the man in a suit. Looks very corporate. He's in this like tiny, cramped little cell, but he's holding this beautiful bluebird and the sun is shining in on him. It's like a moment of hope or a sudden realization of hope and change in what feels like a very limiting, lifeless, unsupportive environment. Then we've got the 2 knights fighting each other, and they're like clockwork knights. There's sort of time imagery in this card. So fighting, sparring, I guess being worried about time as well, being stressed about when's the right time, or this feels like it's taking too long, or whoa, this is going really quickly, I'm not sure I'm prepared for it. You then have these 2 women arguing. It looks like they're the same woman, potentially. There's an old woman here, and then there's a very young woman there, and again there's that conflict energy. And then there's this pram, which again has the time imagery on the wheels, and it looks like there isn't actually a baby inside. It's like it's an old dusty cloth. Maybe there's a baby underneath. Maybe it's meant to represent a ghost or what never was, or the passage of time. And this card always makes me think about sort of milestones. It makes me think of family pressure as well, because this could be 2 generations or 3 generations of the same family, or it could be the same person arguing about what to do with their life, not knowing what the best thing is for them. The fear of time creeping up as well, and worrying that they're not going to have much time left to make decisions. So we have that card. I might move it over there. And then this one from the Dixit Oracle. So kind of like very much an 8 of Wands vibe here. We've got an eagle flying free, carrying this empty cage. He's not stuck in there anymore. And this little child gleefully and full of awe, just going along with the ride. Probably pretty scared, but also super excited as well. So this carries the sense of freedom, exhilaration, change, movement, travel, things moving quickly, not really knowing where you're going or feeling like you have too much control over it, but completely being along for the ride, even if some of that frightens you or worries you. So it really feels like there's a lot here to do with realizing your situation, wanting to make changes, having these conflicts and arguments, maybe tensions within the family, even if they're historical tensions that are kind of embedded in your childhood, pushing you forward, these worries about time and when everything's going to happen, and have I got enough time still to achieve this in life, or, you know, have I left it too late for this, or why is this goal taking so long to achieve? And then you've got this really swift fresh start and movement, and it's like everything is happening at once. And then your last cards are No Place Like Home, number 50. I think again this carries connotations of family and upbringing in your household and, you know, the people that you're closest to, but it's also, you know, your home environment, your sanctuary where you feel safe. You might be looking to move home, for example. Maybe that's the whole thing that you're debating and trying to work out what makes sense. Then we have I, psychic ability, trust your intuition. Mice, discord amongst friends or family. I mean, this has been repeated throughout the reading, you know. I'm not necessarily seeing it as like there's an argument going on within your family right now, but more maybe that you feel pressure from family members, or you find yourself comparing yourself to other family members or maybe friends, your social circle, and it's making things difficult for you because you feel like, I guess, just that pressure to act in a certain way or achieve things by a certain time. Owl, good advice from a wise person. So there is someone, maybe physically around you, maybe a spiritual guide, who is able to give you some advice in April that kind of, I guess, makes you see everything differently. Throne, position of authority, reclaiming your power. And teapot, deep friendship with someone of the same sex. So maybe this is the wise person, maybe this is a friend you can really count on. Interesting. So let's get your charms and dice on top now, group 2, and see what else they can tell us. Okay. Interesting. So here we've got the spider's web, symbolic of feeling trapped, restricted, limited. It's very similar to this imagery here in this card, but also look at the star that's landed on that card, this big shining star, just like the star in tarot, which symbolizes hope and faith and being guided and being on the right path and healing. So really, like, penetrating into this desperate situation is this symbol of hope and this message of being able to heal and to be guided to make the right steps. So I think that's really, really lovely. You've also got the binoculars, interestingly enough, landing right next to the eye card. So this is symbolic of looking deeper into a situation, analyzing something, looking at the details, I guess seeing a situation more clearly or seeing it for what it is. You have growth, movement, change, the moon and star. So there's that psychic connection again, another star image. Dreams, intuition, subconscious, guiding you. You have a heart, love, and also the word love. So there is love and there is support around you in April. Especially there seems to be a very good friend who has your back or who wants to listen. And then you've got 2 keys, which is amazing. You've got this little key here, And then also this big key over here with the star. The star holds the key. So keys, whenever we get them in a reading, they indicate that you hold the answers, you have the abilities or the resources to make changes, like we mentioned with the magician. They represent new beginnings, solutions to problems, unblocking stuck situations. They represent sort of being able to move forward, I guess. And of course, sometimes they can be very symbolic, like the keys to a new home or the keys to a new car. And we did mention that for some of you there is this house move on the cards. But I think keys, especially given that you've got more than one, are just generally really positive, happy messages of being able to move forward, of having this new beginning, of being able to tackle whatever comes your way. And it's quite interesting as well that you have those two keys, because there's a cage here and then there's the jail cell that this person is in. So maybe those two keys unlock those two locks, or maybe also the home here. Let's see what your dice have to say. Okay, so we're rolling the first set of dice, the fantasy dice. I have 10 different sets of picture dice that I use in my readings. And we're rolling 6 of them for you. There are 9 dice in each set that I use. So, 2. Okay, oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, we've got the cage! And it's an empty cage again, like whatever has been inside it has now flown free. That's crazy. So really this message of freedom and being, I guess, relieved or set free from limitations. You've also got the mirror, reflection, self-reflection, understanding a situation, really looking deeply into yourself and being truthful and honest there. So that really fits in with the messages that we got earlier in the reading about acceptance and honesty and reflection. You have the throne as well. It's crazy how much repeated imagery you've gotten. That's amazing. So the throne, again, sovereignty, authority. I think often when I see that image, because it's an elevated throne, I think of putting something on a pedestal, maybe holding something or someone in too high of an esteem. But only take that message in this reading if that resonates with you, because I think it's just more of a reinforcement of the throne message. Maybe it's a reminder again to dial back on the comparisons with others who always seem to be doing better or to have it all. You have the dragon over here, can be a zodiac sign for the year of the dragon, or a time frame for the year of the dragon. But the dragon also kind of symbolizes that big task that we have to complete. It's like facing up to the monster, it's facing down the demon, it's wrestling with that task that we need to overcome in order to achieve our ultimate goal. You've got this club as well. It can be fighting, it can be power, effort, if you think of like the strength that's needed to wield one. Also makes me think sometimes of being defensive and of conflict again, which I think we've seen elsewhere in the reading. And then finally we've got the old woman, struggling to walk, hunched over, looking quite down about herself and her experience. When I get this, I think of people who feel bad about themselves, who have low thoughts about themselves, a low opinion of themselves. They feel like they're struggling with life. They're really focused on their faults and flaws rather than the positive aspects of themselves. And I think that this is coming in, given that it's landed where it has on the envy card, it's coming in to remind you that when you focus on that, that kind of becomes your reality because it's all you're thinking about. So seeing the negatives or the flaws in yourself and just seeing the positives and the achievements and the strengths in other people is always going to be a recipe for unhappiness. So I mean, for all you know, those people could be thinking of you just from the perspective of your strengths and seeing only their weaknesses when they think about themselves. So, you know, sort of living, almost looking through a window into someone else's life, but also only seeing the selected, cherry-picked best parts of their life, it's just always going to lead to unhappiness. So I really think that a big thing for you to overcome in April is that comparison piece and that sense of finding your own happiness, forging your own path based on what feels right for you, and following your own kind of deadlines with regards to that, and not feeling like you need to bow to pressure that's around you to kind of do things by a certain time or in a certain way. Ultimately, it looks like you're going to fly completely happily on your own, and being independent and kind of forging ahead with autonomy. So I hope this makes sense to you, group 2. I hope you enjoyed this reading. It's a really, really positive one, so I hope you feel encouraged and even empowered by watching this today. If you've been doubting yourself, or if you've been feeling quite down about your life situation or your achievements, I really hope this has kind of buoyed your thoughts a lot more and given you renewed zeal to achieve what it is that you're hoping to bring about into your life. Have a lovely rest of your day and a wonderful month ahead. Take care, and we'll see each other again soon. Bye bye.